to check in because right now is my very first Suprefact injection. So I was a little slow at posting my last video, so these will be going up at the same time today. But I just thought I would come on and show you, just for anyone who is going through IVF and is maybe not sure about Suprefact or the Suprefact injections, I wanted to kind of share that part of the journey as well. So here we go. This is my Suprefact vial. Now, most people, or a lot of people, do the Suprefact nasal spray. And that's what I did for my previous 2 transfers. However, this time around, I just decided to do the needle instead because it's just once a day. The nose spray is 5 times a day, and it's kind of a pain. It's kind of a pain doing it 5 times a day. So I thought I would try this. It does the same thing. So here's the vial. I don't know if you can see. So this is the Suprefact, and I've already opened up my needles. So what you do with an injection like this is you need to draw it out of the vial with 1 needle, and then you need to switch tips before you inject. That's just how you have to do any type of injection. So I have my handy little black case with all my medication in it that I need every day. And right now, since this is my first one that I'm starting, this is all I'm doing at this point. So since it's a new vial, I need to break off the little top piece, and then that will just be garbage. All right. So I need to get an alcohol swab, which I have and should have had out, sorry. All right, so you take your alcohol swab. Now, it's been a while, like a few years, since I've had to do a needle like this. And this one I can do myself because the needle tip, once I change it, is very, very small. It's like an insulin type needle, so very small, not a big deal at all. Whereas the progesterone and oil that get done in my butt, that one Dave has to give me because that needle is way too big and I am not going anywhere near that. So, and it's a lot more difficult to give that type of needle than it is to just give one under the skin. All right, so what I'm using is I'm using a 22 gauge needle to draw it with because the Suprefact isn't thick. As you can see, it's a very thin liquid, so I don't need a fat needle to draw it out with. So I'm going to use a 22 gauge, and this is just a 1 inch. I should be using a 1.5, but I only use 1 inch to take my progesterone, so I have lots of these ones, so I'm just gonna try it with a 1 inch. It should be fine. And then I'm going to put on the needle tip of this one, this little teeny tiny one, and this is a 27 gauge needle, so it's very thin and very small, and I'll show you that when I get there. So first thing you're going to do, take your alcohol swab off the top of the vial. Okay, and then you're going to take your top off. So like I said, this is a 22 gauge. I'm trying to see a way that you can kind of see it. And then you're going to, I need to do 1 mil. So I'm going to draw in 1 mil of air. Okay, and then I'm going to insert it into the rubber pad that's on there. Once you put it in, then you're going to tip it upside down. Sorry, this is kind of awkward. And you're going to push the air in first, and then I'm going to draw out the liquid. Now, you always want to go past what you need, so I need 1. So I went past there, if you can see. And then I'm going to push it back up because there was a little air bubbles at the top, and I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to push it back up until I get to 1. There we go. So I have 1 milliliter, a little bit more, and then just release. There we go. So I have it drawn up, but since I've used this needle to draw, looks like there's only going to be about like maybe 3 or 4, I don't even know, doses in one of these. Oh, 5.5 mil, so 5.5 doses in one of these. So it'll last 5.5 days. So what I'm going to do is replace the cap on this needle tip since it is now garbage. I have it drawn exactly where it needs to be. So I'm going to get my other needle ready so that I can unscrew the top of this one. Now some clinics or pharmacies have just the needle tips that you can buy that don't come on the syringes, so you're not wasting so much. I asked for those, but my pharmacist that I'm going through for this obviously couldn't get them, so I have the full syringe and everything. That's just going to be garbage. So I'm going to untwist the needle that I used to draw it, and I'm going to put it into my sharps container, so that's somewhere safe. And then I'm going to unscrew my clean, fresh, smaller needle tip, and I'm going to put it on the syringe that I drew up. So now this syringe is just garbage. I don't need to waste room in the sharps container because that will fill up quickly. And there we go. So I have my needle drawn up. This is my very first Suprefact injection. My first time giving myself a needle since we did the retrieval like 3 years ago. So here we go. Now this is done subcutaneously, so it's done in the stomach. Just pinch the skin, and it's just under the skin. It's not intramuscular, which is what makes it a much easier one to do. So you need your alcohol swab again. I'm gonna stand up a little bit so you can see. Come back here. Sorry, it's like really hard when you're taping a video sideways like this for YouTube to like get your whole body in. So I'm like on my knees on the floor. Anyways, here we go. So I'm just going to lift up my shirt. So it doesn't matter which side you go on. The main thing is that you're always rotating sides and that you don't go in the exact same spot, like, you know, more than once a week or so. So you just want to kind of keep going like different spots in my stomach. And so I'm going to, well, before I do that, I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to push it to make sure it's good. So I'm going to take the lid off. And as you can see, this is like super tiny, this needle. Okay, maybe it doesn't look that tiny in there, but I think it's just, what is it even? 27 gauge, ½ inch. So it's only a ½ inch needle. So it's not that big. It's not that bad. All right, and then what I want to do is go like this. Sorry, I want to make sure you can see. And I'm just going to push until it comes out. 1 drop comes out, okay? So now we are good to go. 1 drop came out. I still have 1 mil. And here we go. So I'm gonna lift my shirt. Now, let me think which hand. I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna do it with my left. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of needles, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I'm gonna pick just right around here, no big deal. I'm just gonna let it dry. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have the right amount. I'm like super paranoid right now because it's been so long. All right, so it's dry, so I'm just gonna pinch. Maybe I'll come a little closer so you can see. Just gonna pinch it together, and here we go. Now I'm gonna push it in. It's burning actually a fair bit. Maybe I'm pushing it too fast, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Push it in a little slower. There we go. It's all in. There we go. I did it. Shouldn't be a mark, no bleeding, we're good. That's it. It's all in. So I will replace the lid and this whole thing into the sharps container. And that's it. That's my first Suprefact injection. If you're doing the nose spray, you're doing that 5 times a day. And if you're doing the injection, it's just once a day. So really, they said it's really no different. I was a little worried about switching since I know what we did last time worked, but I know that it's the same medication. So it's not really a big deal. But here we go. A couple of years of giving up my body to hopefully making another baby and breastfeeding and all of that stuff. But you know, it's a big step, this first needle, because it just means everything's starting again, and all the stress and anxiety and worry of, you know, all the what ifs and all the possibilities. It's all just a lot to, you know, to think about and worry about, but you know, we have Beckett and he's worth it. So I know that it will be worth it this time around as well. And we'll just keep going. So thanks for watching. If you are on your own IVF journey, I wish you the best of luck as well, and feel free to subscribe and follow me through this frozen transfer that we're going through right now. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.